So we have breaking news out of Millville, New Jersey that has residents talking and officials preparing for potential legal investigations. These are the details of a shady land deal executed by the Porreca family using inside government connections to pull off an amazing deal. It all begins on March 10, 2017, when City Tax Assessor Brian Rosenberger, using his city-owned email address, admits to Commissioners Porreca, Campari, and Sui that he has been requested to add Block 125.01, Lot 15.05 to the city land sale by Paul Porreca Sr. So how does Paul Porreca Sr., a regular citizen not elected or appointed to any city position, dictate to the tax assessor which land should be sold? Can any resident have that ability? More importantly, why would Judge Paul Porreca Sr. and Commissioner Lynn Porreca Campari care about Block 125.01, Lot 15.05? So let's take a look at this land. This here is Block 125.01. The lots identified as 15 border this large plot of land. Interestingly enough, Lot 15.05 does not appear on the city tax map. Check it out for yourself on the city website. We will have more on this in a bit. So who owns this large piece of land? That is right. Block 125.01, Lot 15.05 borders the Porreca family farm, meaning that any purchase of this property would not only improve the value of the farm, it would give access to utilities and Bogdan Road. Now this is where this gets even more interesting. This is the complete list of properties that were put up for sale. Notice the piece that Porreca demanded? There was no address associated with it. It is the only piece of property that was put up for sale without an address. How is a prospective buyer going to find the property to give a proper bid? More importantly, there was no assessed value. Remember earlier when we said that it was not available on the tax map? So where did this magical piece of land with no assessed value come from, and why was the sale rushed through? The lack of assessed value is important, not only because it raises questions about the origin of the land, it also means there is no minimum bid requirement in the sale of the land. Well, if of course any member of the public could find it, since it was not on the tax map and there was no address. So a quick recap so far. The city tax assessor appeases Judge Paul Porreca Sr. and places a piece of city-owned land that borders his farm up for sale. The tax assessor informs Commissioners Porreca and Sui of the request. The land is added to the list for sale, but contains no address, assessed value, and is not available on the tax map. The next step in the process is for the City Commission to approve the list of lands for sale. Now remember, Commissioners Porreca, Campari, and Sui know that Paul Porreca Sr. requested Lot 125.01, Block 15.05 to be included. Do you think they would have recused themselves? Do you think they would have asked why there was no address or assessed value on the land? No, they cast the deciding votes for the land sale to go forward. Now, a reasonable person would assume that the city, to avoid any impropriety, would clearly list the address of the land so other members of the public would be able to find it and put a reasonable bid in. That reasonable person would be wrong. The city continued to withhold the address and other pertinent information regarding this property. So who do you think purchased this mysterious piece of property that was requested to be put up for sale by Paul Porreca Sr.? That's right, Paul Porreca Sr. and his daughter, City Commissioner Lynn Porreca Campari. Yes, and what can only be described as the deal of the century, Paul Porreca Sr. and Lynn Porreca Campari purchased a mysterious quarter acres of land for only $500. That's right, a quarter acre of land for $500. That, my friends, is the deal of the century. Now remember, the minimum bid had to be within 20% of the current year's assessed value. But there was no assessed value on this land, so therefore they were able to purchase a quarter acre of city-owned land for $500. Even worse, if you look at the other assessed values of the land that were included in the land sale, the lowest assessed value for any piece of land was $12,100. there was a vacant piece of land of a similar size that was assessed for $31,400. Yet, Paul Porreca Sr. and Lynn Porreca Compari were able to purchase this piece of property for only $500. This is just another insider deal where people with connections are getting access to deals that nobody else can. We are now looking in to see if this land was in any way part of the protected Green Acres properties that surround it and are throughout the city. If that turns out to be true, this story will get even more fascinating.